going on, my friends? SeanPierceJohnson here, and welcome to Season 7 of STOMPBOX Saturday. I can't think of a better way to start out season lucky number 7 with this, the KEELEY ECCOS. This had to be the way that we got things started here in 2020, because to me, ECCOS truly exemplifies what KEELEY is all about now at this point in the company's history. So I think it's a good idea if we just shut up and get to the pedals. So let's throw it up on the screen, talk a little bit about what exactly you're looking at, and then we'll get down to some playing. So let's do this. Now, I wish I could tell you that what you're seeing on the face of the pedal was really it. But there is so much more to ECCOS than what you see on the front. But let's start there. We have 5 knobs and a toggle switch and 2 foot switches down at the bottom. The knobs are pretty self-explanatory when you see their initial controls, with time for your delay time, blend for your blending in of your echoed signal, and then your feedback control. But this is a tape style delay with some flanging in it rather than, pitch modulation. So we have rate and depth to control that flanging effect. Super lush, and something that once you hear, you'll wonder why nobody was really doing anything like this before. But because this is a digital pedal, there are some extra little secret sauce controls that we can access by pressing and holding down on the feedback knob. Yes, because the feedback knob is not just a knob, it's also a button. You can hold down on the feedback and turn all 4 of these knobs for expanded controls. Time knob is going to be your manual, which is sort of the delay time of the flanging effect that you'll hear underneath your, basically as part of your echo tone. The blend control is a vibe control. Now, this doesn't add anything like a univibe or a vibrato effect to the echoed signals. Instead, what it's going to do is it's going to morph between flange and more pitch modulation, sort of your traditional kind of wow and flutter effect that we mostly know. Turning the rate knob adjusts the tone of the repeats in your echo, so you can get something very cool and hi-fi, something very much akin to an actual tape style echo, or you can darken it up and make it murky and make it, well, just about old, basically. And then finally, regen by turning the depth knob, which is going to feed back signal into the flanging portion of the echo effect. Like I said, there's a lot that you can do, more than meets the eye. Bypass foot switch, tap tempo, save up to 3 presets on the pedal alone. It has stereo inputs, stereo outputs, expression pedal control, remote switching functions, and of course, it's not just an echo, it's also a looper. So I think we got to break this down a little bit. Now, I should mention I am running in stereo for this with my Orange Rocker Verb 100 on the left and my Boss Katana 50 on the right. So you might want to listen to this thing in headphones to get the full lush experience of it. All right, let's dive in. I'm going to show you how I go about setting a sound. To me, the best place to start is just setting your core delay sound, not worrying about any of the flanging or modulation effects or secondary controls. Just time, feedback, and your blend. So here's basically how you do it. What kind of vibe do you want to go for? Well, I want something sort of in the medium length, so sounds pretty good already. I'm gonna just up the feedback a little bit so it really carries out. Dial back the blend. Man, that really holds on. That is just amazing. Maybe just a little longer. I just want to feel that a little bit. I love how it holds on. I'm sorry. I just had to do that for myself. All right, so something about here is pretty much in my kind of standard comfort zone. Yeah, I like the way that feels. And yes, it is a little gritty. I got the Nux Horseman running. I kind of like the way that it kind of ties both amps together. It's kind of like a nice little glue. I could just vibe on this all day long, but we need to keep moving. So now let's add in a little bit of that flange. I like flanges and modulation rates generally with a slow rate and about a medium depth. So let's go ahead and listen to how that sounds. That's nice. I like the way that this feels, and I love the way that this sounds. It works. It just works. And that's what you want from a good echo pedal. It should just work. Now, I want to really start upping that flanging effect. Press and hold on the feedback and turn the depth knob, which is now a regen, basically the feedback of that flanging effect. Man, that sounds good. I'm having a little bit of a tone-gasm here. Pardon me. Oh, whoa, wow. Man, and I've had this pedal for weeks and it still just, it gets me right in the feels. Oh, that's good. But maybe flanging in your echo is not for you. And that's understandable. Flanging is not an effect for everyone. And that's where the vibe control comes in. By turning it from full clockwise to full counterclockwise, we can change up the way that the modulation acts in the echo tone. Man, that sounds good. Let's see how that sounds with a really dirty tone. I got the Rev G2 on the floor, so let's take a listen to how that works. this is where the tone control comes in handy. Darkening it up definitely helps sort of rein in those more hi-fi kind of effects with distortion so that it just sits in the mix a little better. You'll see we'll leave the blend knob in the same position, and even just changing up that EQ definitely helps it not cut through so much. So even without a whole lot of know-how of how this pedal works, you can really get rolling pretty darn quickly. Eccos has the ability to save and recall 3 different presets on the pedal without needing to use MIDI. So for the MIDI illiterate like myself, that's a really handy thing. So let's say you spent a lot of time crafting this one particular delay tone and you do not want to lose it. Sounds a little like this. Using those tap tempo subdivisions for a little bit of ping-pongy flangey action. Yeah, you want to make sure you have that. So let's save it. Double tap bypass. And now we're in preset selection mode. Use tap to scroll through. And once you got that, press and hold bypass for a couple seconds. And we're good. There, we've saved the preset. You don't need to do anything else. You want to select another preset? Double tap. Use tap to scroll through, 1, 2, 3. But when you have all 3 lights flashing, that means you get whatever the knob values are set to. So we could go ahead and set something without any flanging. And then if we want to go back to that sound, scroll to 1 and boom. All right, guys, so now we're going to change up things a little bit, and we're going to take an in-depth look at the looper. So I've decided to take the echoes off the stomping block and put it on the floor. So what's really cool about the way that the Eccos looper works is that you can use it in conjunction with the delay. Now, we'll hear a little bit of that later on in the video, but I want to show you dedicated how the looper works without any echo. So the first thing you need to know is there's 2 ways that you can access the looper. You can either use the toggle switch in the middle of the pedal to select between the delay mode and the looper mode, or you can actually double tap on the feedback knob to switch between the 2 modes, which is pretty handy. The feedback knob is just a little higher than the rest of the knobs, so you could technically, let's see if this works. It worked! Cool. That's awesome. So to record anything, all you got to do is tap on the bypass foot switch to start recording. So let me get a beat in my head. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then tap the bypass switch again in order to just let it start playing. So adjusting the level, go ahead and go down to the depth control, and the depth knob becomes your level. And this works. And now if you want to overdub something on that, you just press the bypass foot switch again. So let's come up with something. Another layer. Now let's go ahead and kick on the dirty channel of the rock reverb and let's record a dirty part. It's a pretty simple looper to be able to use in that kind of traditional mode. Now, if you want to stop it, quickly double tap on the bypass foot switch. Now we want to erase what we've just done. Press and hold on the tap switch. And you'll see those two LEDs blink, and then your loop is completely erased, and then you can start from scratch. This particular sound I just like to call lush, because it's exactly that. And it just works for just about any kind of clean to pushed clean kind of sound that I can really think of. you have it, my friends. That is the KEELEY ECCOS pedal, our Season 7 premiere of STOMPBOX Saturday. This thing, 3 years in the works, from, an empty box to this full pedal. I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for this, and it is a long time to be waiting for something that a company keeps talking about. The anticipation is so high for this pedal. But I gotta say, they really have done everything that they needed to do in order to make Eccos as best as it can possibly be. Start with that foundation of a great tape-style echo effect. Everything else that's been added on just serves making that experience all the better. The fact that we have flanging rather than our standard wow and flutter modulation make this very unique in the marketplace, I feel. And then not only that, expression pedal control, remote switching, and then the inputs and outputs being stereo mean that this can find its home in just about any kind of guitar rig, musician's rig, keyboards, DAW stuff. This is not just a guitar pedal. This is a pedal for musicians and a pedal for audio people. And I'm going to be experimenting quite a lot with it to see where else it fits in the context of my work, and you guys might be seeing some of that this year. Can't guarantee things, but let's just say 2020 is off to a really awesome start, and I'm wondering how people are gonna beat this. So in the meantime, I would love to know what you guys thought of Eccos by letting me know your thoughts in the comments section below. But NAMM is only a few days away, and we are gonna have some launch demos, so click the subscribe button, turn on the notifications by ringing the bell, and come back on Monday for one of those videos. But if you'd like to get some behind the scenes access and see other videos before anyone else in the world, please consider becoming a member of my Patreon community today. You will find a link for that in the description below. Thank you so much for joining me for the Season 7 premiere. I hope you guys enjoyed, and until next time, my friends, I'm SeanPierceJohnson wishing you all out there great tone and happy stomping. Cheers, friends.